So, you want to learn how to be a god man? Well, you, my friend, have come to the right place. I will teach you exactly how to fool millions of people into giving you their hard earned money so you can ride your fancy cars and live off the rest of your days in fabulous wealth. First, we're going to take a look at how you would have done it in the early to mid 1900s, and with those basics in place, we just need to make slight tweaks and adjustments to adapt our methods for the 21st century. After that, we'll also take a look at what are the perks, some of the perks of this magnificent career path. So, what are we waiting for? Let's get right to learning. Hi, my name's Pranav and you're watching Science is Dope. A couple of decades ago, becoming a godman was really easy. It required little startup cost, even less networking, and just basic knowledge of how a business is supposed to work. All you need is another guy that you paid to be your spokesperson. Step 1. You don't need to worry about what to wear just yet. This dude clearly doesn't. He knows that what you have to do first is travel to a new town or village where people don't know you. And because Geo4G isn't a thing yet, your misdeeds of the past will stay in the dark. Step 2. Get your spokesperson to announce your greatness to everyone in the village and tell them about the mystical powers that you have, because you are an incarnation of God or a descendant of the enlightened yogis of the Himalayas. Now, it's very important that you get someone else to do this, because if you do it yourself, you're just gonna look like a raving lunatic and nobody's gonna believe you. But if your wingman does a good job, then the people of the village are now curious. They don't believe your claims just yet. They want to see what you can do. Step 3. This is where the only prerequisite that you need to have comes in handy. You need to learn how to do a couple of magic tricks. No, not the ones like pulling a rabbit out of a hat, that's too Western. You need to do something that appears relevant and spiritual. Something like conjuring divine ash out of thin air. A bed of nails trick also seems to work well. Now, people see this and they're really impressed because they don't know the difference between sleight of hand or a trick and supernatural powers. They give you their money, donations, and seek your blessings. And whenever they're in your presence, they feel your divine aura solving all their life's problems. Now it's time you started dressing appropriately. Create an image in their heads of an enlightened sadhu, because that's what's gonna bias them. And don't forget the beard, because that seems to be extremely effective. Whenever a new person joins your ashram, he or she is gonna see everyone else bowing down to you, and like a bunch of dead fish going in the flow, they're gonna start bowing down as well. So in the eyes of a new person, all this hard work that you did has already been done. Now it's time for step 4. And this one's pretty important, so listen up. And yeah, you need to have one more prerequisite. You need to know how to intersperse spiritual jargon into useful common sense advice to make it uniquely your own. If they implement this in their lives, they're gonna see results because the advice is useful, and this confirms their belief that you are truly enlightened. And confirmation bias is what's gonna keep bringing them back into your ashram to hear more of what you have to say. And anything you tell them at this point, any ideology, any statement, is now true in their eyes.
If I take a glass of water in my hand and just look at it in a certain way and give it to you, well-being will come to you.
But remember to always speak in analogies and easy to understand layman terms, because more people will gravitate to you that way. Sorry, I don't know how that got there. Anyway, moving on. You can now go to a new town with some of your new followers and establish a new ashram. Repeat steps 1 to 4 as many times as you want, and you will become established there as well. You are now an established godman with your own cult of people, your own followers who are ready to do anything for you. Any criticism of what you say or interference in what you do will be defended by hordes of people. All of what I've said so far is what someone like Satya Sai Baba did, and he was pretty successful at it till his death in 2011. But what he did will not work today now that there's the internet and easy availability of information that tends to spread like wildfire. Everyone knows what sleight of hand is, and if you ever get caught doing something like that, lots of exposed videos pop up and it gets ugly real fast. So don't be like Satya Sai Baba. You don't want that kind of negative PR. We have to adapt our methods for the 21st century, and I'll tell you exactly what adjustments to make. First, forget all that sleight of hand shit and rebrand yourself as a guru. It turns out that people don't need to see you do magic tricks to believe in your grandeur. People come to you because they have problems in their lives and they're desperate to solve them, and as long as you give out spiritual advice that applies to most people, they're gonna flock to you. And how do you do that again? Remember, common sense advice plus spiritual jargon. Sometimes you don't even need to do this. Sometimes your mere presence is all that's needed for people to feel as if they found the ultimate solution to their life's problems, the placebo effect. Now, I agree that maybe this might keep them from getting the genuine help that they need, but as long as people feel like they're getting help, right? Secondly, if anyone accuses you of being a godman or asks you anything about godmen, then you need to have well-rehearsed answers ready.
I have seen men and I've seen goddamn men. I have not seen a god man anywhere. I have seen men, I have seen goddamn men. Well, where did you see a god man? I have seen goddamn men, but I've never seen… Some are goddamn men, that's different.
That just cracks me up. Helps if you have really witty answers. Thirdly, make sure you're on social media, because if the previous decade has shown us anything, it's that a social media presence is probably the greatest marketing technique ever invented. You might start slow, or maybe even slower, but keep at it, and depending on how good you are at appealing to the masses, you'll have millions of followers in no time. The internet may not be such a bad thing after all for our business. It helps bring you to even more people than you ever thought possible. You can make even more tax-free money than ever before. You can sell courses online and charge exorbitant amounts, and some of your followers become huge social media personalities and influencers themselves and parrot your exact words and help you grow even more.
What are the tools that the world of spirituality gifts you? What, correct breathing patterns gift you?
First of all, neither at home nor in school.
Instead of trying to figure out life, you just have to enhance the profoundness of your experience. You can't figure it out.
Spirituality. Spirituality.
If the law ever catches up with you, you can just flee to the West. There are just as many gullible people out there who fall for your antics. Some of these people are new to Eastern spirituality, find enough of them going through a midlife crisis or something, and they'll be more than glad to throw their money at you. Just look at this guy.
I was a workaholic. I made a lot of money. I had my my share of fame and recognition, and it seemed like the more I got, the less satisfying it was.
Now, this is a big one for all you lefties out there. There is no gender-based discrimination if you want to become a spiritual guru. Women are more than welcome into the spiritual guru club. In fact, there is no racism either. You don't even have to be an Indian to do this. Now, there are some of these occasional videos by some idiots who clearly just wanna grow their channel by using your name in vain. Just don't mind them, your fanboys will take care of them. Then there are these people that call themselves the rationalists. They might say stuff like this. Let them do what they want to do. They're just making themselves look like the bad guys, trying to attack us innocent gurus who are just trying to help some people, right? Now that you have so many people in your cult, ashram, politicians will always be by your side because you are a vote bank. You can get so many people to vote for them, right? And they'll return the favor by helping you out every time you overstep some legal boundaries. This kind of mutual help is beneficial for both parties. You help rationalize their actions and you will enjoy retweets from the Prime Minister himself. Also, now that you have a lot of money, why don't you start doing some charity, some humanitarian social works? Because that way you gain some goodwill in front of the people, and anytime anyone ever accuses you of conning people, you have an instant defense. How can someone that's engaged in so many charitable ventures be a bad person? I hope I've convinced you that this is a very lucrative career path. There are so many gullible people in the world. If we don't take advantage of them, then who will? If you like this video, then please share it so that more people can benefit from this tutorial. Wait, why is this on a Rationalist channel? Hey, and by the way, I've announced a Discord server. The link you can find in the description, and it's completely free because I don't want money to come in the way of this community growing. And when I say community, I mean this community of science lovers in India. If you're a content creator yourself, especially if you make science content, come share it in the server. And yeah, and I'll also make sure I try and have as many voice calls as possible so you all get to interact with me directly. And yeah, the Discord server is completely free as of now. I might change that in the future if I ever have to depend on YouTube for an income, but right now it's completely free, so come take advantage of this opportunity while you still can. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Till then, remember, science is dope.
When Dalai Lama dies, leaves the body, he's reincarnated, you have a system to find out where he's born. And they'll knock at the door and say, this young boy is Dalai Lama, and then he becomes the next Dalai Lama. If you go to Bill Gates, out of the 100 billion, you give 50 billion to us in trust, to be given to you in your next life when we find you.